Destiny 2 Lightfall came out last week, and I've been playing a bit of it. I don't have a ton of time to play it extensively right now because I'm prepping for the show and the Gaming Trend podcast as well. But I don't see a need to play a ton of Lightfall to see there is something very wrong with it, particularly the story. So I'll just break down the beginning a little bit. So from the beginning, the Traveler is in trouble. The Traveler is kind of like the god of the Destiny Vanguard thing. So you go on a fetch quest to chase another enemy who is chasing this thing called the Veil. What is it? I don't know. Why aren't we helping the Traveler? Why aren't we even posturing at the Witness, who is the bad guy against the Traveler? We're going to chase the Witness's new disciple, who's far less capable than Rolk, who is the raid boss of the last expansion, the Witch Queen, because this new disciple, he's after something that no one knows the value of, except one character, and he doesn't divulge what the value is of this thing. So there's that. And then, not to mention on top of that, the tone is off. You got the Witness. He's dominating the Traveler right now. And we feel comfortable making the jokes. You see all this at the beginning opening scene. You could look this opening scene up on YouTube, and you will notice that the Traveler, he's just not putting in work. And so, how about we actually talk about the Veil? How about we get some context? There are people who didn't play all the seasons from the Witch Queen, which was fantastic, by the way. And you have a weak opening, and you pile on the confusion for everybody, Bungie. Way to set up for the end of this light and dark saga, Bungie. Great job. But this shouldn't be a surprise. Bungie has been atrocious at consistently telling a good story for Destiny 2. And it's because they have spent so much time world building that their ability to tell a good story has atrophied. They're not using all the muscles necessary to create a good story. And now, and since the beginning of Destiny, it's fostered a world where they create an inconsistent story. So when Destiny launched, it was almost devoid of story to begin with, right? Like, we remember Destiny 1, and you had to go online and outside of the game to get any info. They finally started adding narrative in-game, and even once they did that, it was hit or miss. The Taken King, hit. Forsaken, hit. The Witch Queen, also a hit. I'll throw Beyond Light in there, too. I'm not going to say Beyond Light was a hit, but I thought it was good. I certainly got more information about the story, more information about the characters, more information about what darkness really is, right? And then you look at all the stories between those games, and you quickly realize Bungie whiffs way more than they hit. When they hit, it's fantastic. But when they whiff, it feels like Lightfall, completely confusing. See, Bungie said this was going to be balanced between serious and summer blockbuster, and they'll achieve that with balance of its villains. I'm sorry. Aren't we supposed to be wrapping up this light and dark saga? You can't serve two masters and expect something to be strong. The seriousness of the situation is warranted, but I see. You have an audience that's here for different reasons other than the narrative you created, so you want to make sure that they get their enjoyment too. And what you got was it's good if you don't pay attention to the story. Bravo, Bungie. Like, can you believe you put in all that work to create a world and a universe that people enjoy? You put in all that work to make great characters. You put in all that work to create planets with a great backstory. You did in all that work to create villains who we connected with and either really disliked or really enjoyed. And you don't back any of it with consistent storytelling. I specifically bought Lightfall for the story. I was hoping I was going to get it. I don't think I am. Here's Noah Rigsby, an editor and much bigger Destiny guy than I am on the Gaming Trend podcast, talking about what Lightfall is to him.
I think if I had to sum it up, this ain't it, Chief. Tone was everywhere in this game. Just from the setup and the hype that Bungie was giving this, and with the final shape being the next big expansion, this was supposed to be Infinity War. You know, the lines are drawn. We've got our allies. The Traveler has, the allies with us. The Witness has his. The lines were drawn. This was supposed to be the first of two, big expansions where the Light and Darkness saga is going to end. This felt like a filler.
Bungie betrayed the community who cares about the story with Lightfall. I'm not saying that they can't get the trust back, but Bungie's feet need to be held to the fire. You can have an exciting game and a great story. It's not like they haven't done this before. We have The Taken King. We have Forsaken. We have The Witch Queen. Heck, I'll even throw in Beyond Light. We've seen that they can do it, but they can't do it consistently. They need to stop vacillating and choose which audience they want to serve. Do you want to serve the audience that has the story, or do you want to serve the audience that just cares about the gameplay? Because here's what I think. I think if you serve the audience who cares about the story, you're going to capture all the audiences. And I'll tell you why. Look at the Witch Queen. That's all the explanation that you need. The Witch Queen was a fantastic expansion, not just because it had a great story, but it also had the gameplay to go with it. Both can be true. If it's not the ones who care about the story, then stop trying to create this long-threaded universe and make campaigns like Call of Duty does. That's the solution. These singular 5 to 7, maybe 10-hour campaigns, you tell a great story, and then it's over. Stop trying to expand this universe, create new characters, do different... No. Stick with what's there and build upon that and tell a great story. Now you might say, oh, Anthony, there's a reason why Lightfall is the way it is. There are rumors of this and that and the other. Okay, specifically, I've heard that there are rumors about Lightfall being something else beforehand, and then it got changed. For reasons. I don't know. But it doesn't matter why Lightfall is the way it is. You don't need to look that hard to understand why Lightfall is the way it is. All you need to do is look at Bungie's own development history with Destiny. They've spent too much time focusing on world building, which is really, really good. Really, really good. But it's made the telling of what happens in that universe mostly mediocre and I'd say poor at worst. Halo wasn't this bad. Granted, yes, it wasn't as expansive, but that's exactly the problem with Destiny. It's super expansive, and now it's harder to tell a story. Bungie has to get this sorted out for the end. Focus. I think they should focus on telling a great story that upholds this fantastic universe that they've created. If you're listening on YouTube, answer this question for me. How do you feel about Lightfall's campaign?